The time capsule opens today, and what it reveals is a city you thought you knew, but whose secrets have been buried under layers of concrete and time. Welcome to Istanbul, a metropolis of echoes, where entire streets have vanished, not just from maps, but seemingly from memory. We'll journey back to a forgotten era between 1890 and 1950 to uncover the ghosts of these lost avenues. Our first stop is the Great Fire of Hakkapaya. In 1911, official records tell us a devastating blaze wiped out a large section of the historical peninsula near Sirkeci. They show us photographs of the aftermath, a landscape of ruin and ash, which was later rebuilt into the modern streets we see today. It's a straightforward story of disaster and rebirth. But look closer at this picture supposedly taken just days before the fire. Notice the architecture, the style of the windows, the cobblestones. Now let's examine this other image, cataloged from a private collection and dated a year earlier. The street layout is subtly different. The buildings, while similar, have details that don't quite match. Official history says this is the same district, but the photographic record whispers a different story. Was the area already changing before the fire, or are our records of what was lost incomplete? Next, we venture into the old district of Pera, the cosmopolitan heart of late Ottoman Istanbul. We're told the Grand Talimhane Boulevard was carved out in the 1980s, demolishing a dense neighborhood of 19th century Greek and Armenian houses. The narrative is one of urban renewal, replacing dilapidated structures with a modern thoroughfare. But here is a map from 1930. It shows a series of winding, narrow alleyways. And here's a photograph from that same era, labeled as one of those alleys. Look at the people, the storefronts, the life teeming within. Now consider this other photograph, supposedly from a parallel street. The angle is almost identical, but the shadows are all wrong for the time of day it was supposedly taken. The official account is that hundreds of buildings were simply erased. But what if some of these streets never existed as we're told? What if the photographs are composites, weaving a memory of a place that was part truth, part fiction, designed to justify the demolition? Our final mystery lies near the Golden Horn in the district of Balat. History tells us this was a vibrant Jewish quarter, which saw a gradual change as its residents emigrated throughout the mid-20th century. We have countless images of its colorful houses and steep, narrow streets. It's a story of demographic shift. But let's analyze this panoramic shot from 1945. It shows a bustling waterfront. Official maps from the time show a continuous line of buildings. But if you magnify this section here between these two known landmarks, there's a gap, a void. There's no rubble, no sign of demolition, just nothing. It's a blank space in the urban fabric. Was there a street here that was erased so completely, so surgically, that not even a trace was left behind? The records are silent. The photographs only offered this unsettling void. What we see in official archives is just one version of the past. Istanbul, like any great city, is a palimpsest, written and rewritten with earlier versions scrubbed away. But sometimes, in the flicker of an old photograph, in the shadow that shouldn't be there, the ghost of what was lost reaches out. It reminds us that history is not just what we are told, but also what we are not. How much of our world is a carefully constructed stage, and how much of its true story is gone forever? Thank you for watching. Follow us as we continue to unlock the secrets of the past.